Good morning guys, we are here for breakfast at Masti Misal. I'm putting their Zomato link in the description plus Google Map link in the description. Please go check out, they have really nice misal combos. Okay, what is misal? Misal is something which is made out of namkeen and lentil dal, which is complemented with bread or bread slices, and it's super spicy if you are eating it in Maharashtra. It's one of my favorite food items. Let's have it. What's up guys, today we are going to talk about street photography. Street photography is one of the hardest genres of photography, in that you have to go on the street, you have to take photos, and it's pretty hard because there's chances people will snatch your camera, people will hit you, you might not get good frames, you might be slow and sloppy, they won't be properly exposed. Huge problems, very less time, and too many opportunities. That's what street photography is. Today we are going to look at 5 tips for street photography. Tip number 1, how to approach your subject. So there are 2 kinds by which you can approach your subject. Firstly, just go to them, talk to them, ask them if I can take a photo, and take a photo. Second thing is, which I generally do, go to them, talk to them, have a conversation, get to know them, and then take a photo. In that way, you will always have a story to tell about your photos. You will always know your subjects, and it's easy to figure out caption in such situations. If you have ever seen one of my photos, they will always have captions which are related to the story. Tip number 2, always look for the environment around your subject, because that environment is going to decide how your subject is going to look. So it's just not about taking portraits, it's about taking the environment with the portrait. So if there is no environment, people wouldn't know what's the purpose of that portrait. It's a street photograph, it has to have a story inside it. So if it's a watermelon seller, you can't just have watermelon seller's face, you have to have watermelons in it. That gives you the story, that gives you the understanding of what he does. So always consider the environment, always have part of the environment in your photo, and that's the way to go about it. Tip number 3, always have your settings ready. So you know where you are going to take the photo, you know the amount of light which is going to be captured, you know what will be your exposure, you know where you're going to take the photo. So always set your exposure before even you approach the subject. Tip number 4, always look where the subject is looking. That just goes by follow the gaze of your subject. Create a story with that gaze. Every gaze has its own story. There are multiple possibilities. Subject can be looking off the camera, subject can be looking inside the lens, subject can be looking at you. Each of these probabilities have their own stories. So look for the eyes. Eyes will absolutely change the game. Tip number 5 and the last tip is always focus on the eye. If the eyes are blurry, you're not going to get any story when it comes to street photography. So always look for the eye, look for the gaze. Eyes have your story. Nothing else in that picture can tell more story than the eyes of your subject. So always go for the eye when you are planning to focus. So that's it for today guys. I know street photography is one of the hardest genres. It takes time, it takes patience. Sometimes you might not even get one photo, but it's always better to try. One jamun shot going down.